They have never been able to get a stadium deal done because they've never wanted to get a stadium deal done. They have wanted to get out of the Trop, but they've wanted to go north, young man, go north, and I don't mean to Tampa. Then they had the announcement last year that they've got a deal in St. Petersburg. They're going to do development that would make Atlanta blush. They're going to do an entire city that would make Jorge Mas say, that looks familiar. And then somehow the deal fell apart. There was a hurricane. The roof came off. There's been fighting. You've been following the issue with me here on Nothing Personal. But yesterday, things took a turn in a way that never happened to me. Evan Drellick, the fantastic reporter for The Athletic, where I again tell you that they are not a sponsor. I don't get paid to say it, but please get The Athletic. He wrote an article saying that MLB may be forcing Stu Sternberg to sell the team, and that there are people ready to buy the team who are ready to go forward with the St. Petersburg Stadium, because the Tampa Bay Rays only have 21 days from today to do their part of a contract that they executed with the city and the county in order to get the stadium underway, and they've told you, we're not doing it. Now, they pretend they're going to do it, and they say that we'll have information soon. We're going to have this figured out. You remember that the city and county floated the bonds of the public money for the ballpark, and that the St. Petersburg new stadium was on track again. But you also remember that Matt Silverman, the co-president of the Tampa Bay Rays, said, hey, we've lost a year because of the slowness of the city and county, and now the ballpark's going to be way more expensive, not mentioning tariffs, not mentioning inflation, not mentioning the fact that their budget may not have been real from the first place, but let's not quibble. But we're only going to be able to open in 2029. Hi, my name is David. We had our ballpark that we thought was going to open in 06, then 07, then 09, then 10, then 11, then another lawsuit. Finally, we had 12 on the books. We knew that the cost of the ballpark was going to go up, but we made sure to make a beautiful ballpark on budget, on time, for under $515 million. We were able to work with our contractor. We were able to work with our architect and build a ballpark to be proud of with the money we had, because we didn't have any more. We couldn't go to baseball and say, hi, we're out now. Let us move. We had to get the deal done, just like the Tampa Bay Rays have to get the deal done. Why? Because baseball is not going to allow the team to move out of Tampa. They're not going to allow the team under Stu Sternberg to move to the Northeast. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be allowed to move to Montreal. They're not going to be allowed to move to Nashville, San Antonio, Portland, Vancouver. Pick a city. We'll get to the fact that they allowed John Fisher to do it, but let's stick with Stu Sternberg for the moment. So what do you do if you're baseball and you've got an owner who doesn't want to cooperate and do a deal? You flex the muscle of what it means to be a franchisee. Because at the end of the day, Major League Baseball has 30 franchisees. And you sign a lot of legal documents with your papa, who is the commissioner's office. And MLB has more power than they normally flex, more power than owners ever like to admit, because people want to own a team so badly, they'll sign just about anything. And I will bet you dollars to donuts that the documents that you're forced to sign are not read by an overwhelming majority of the owners. I happen to know that. Part of what the documents talk about is that they have the right to pull your franchise, take your team away if you don't have a place to play that is suitable under Major League Baseball standards as decided by Major League Baseball. Steinbrenner Field is not a Major League suitable facility. The Tampa Bay Rays have got to find a place to play after this season, and they've got to have a new stadium on board. Why? because Major League Baseball, in the fine print, can call you up one day and say, "Hi, we're going to take away your revenue sharing." And you know what you can do? I double dare you. Sue us. I'll be the arbitrator, said the commissioner. Try to get it into a regular court. Is it true that MLB is forcing Stu Sternberg to sell his team? Why do you think Evan Drellick would get that story? And then why do you think Stu Sternberg would give a quote when asked and reached for comment yesterday and said, I'm interested to read about what industry I am interested to read about what industry partners have told you about our franchise and its future. That sounds like fighting words, doesn't it? Well, I am going to help you, Stu, and I'm going to help you understand so you don't have to read about what your industry partners are saying. Because all that needs to happen is 23 of those partners have to agree with the commissioner, and your revenue sharing money that you need to run your team at only a slight loss or maybe even break even will disappear faster than you can say St. Petersburg. The ultimate hammer that Major League Baseball has is to take your franchise away. The second biggest hammer they have is to take away a revenue stream. You know that the commissioner of baseball has the right to take all of the national money that Noah Garden and his group bring in on behalf of all the owners and can decide to keep it all, send you $10. They can do it because they want to start a war chest in case of a collective bargaining issue, which is most certainly to come. They can do it because they want to pay down debt. They can enforce rules in the CBA, like the debt service rule, which doesn't allow your team to have debt if it doesn't have positive EBITDA. You can only have debt at a certain level. It's not really enforced, but it could be. It could even be enforced selectively, and there's not a tinker's damn thing you can do about it. Scary, isn't it? Scary to think that you could buy your house, be all excited, move in your favorite couch, get a knock on the door, and it's Rob Manfred saying, you got to sell. You think that's impossible? With your own house, it sort of is. Eminent domain. But in baseball, it can happen.